I definitely think that having some kind of adaptive regulation is going to be extremely important for this one because the technology is moving at a rate that we can barely even comprehend at this point. What I've been working on for the past year or so is mostly the interaction between autonomous vehicles and pedestrians. And so right now, when you in a typical road situation, there's some kind of a conversation that goes on between a driver and a pedestrian. And that might be, eye contact, it may be a hand wave, or other forms of nonverbal communication. But when we have autonomous vehicles, the driver's not going to be there anymore. The driver is just going to be a passenger who's riding in the front seat, and we're going to need some other kind of communication medium. And so what we're researching is what that might look like. Predictions that are being made right now are pretty aggressive, but what's great about the autonomous vehicles, and it's typical to a lot of technology, while a lot of manufacturers are making predictions for, that we're going to have autonomous vehicles within the next few years, what is happening is that we're developing technologies that work better and better with the humans and keep us safer. And so, for example, there's a few manufacturers that are deploying these systems in cars over the next few years. So instead of the cars driving us around, they're acting as kind of like guardian angels that are working in the background that can take control in the event of an emergency. So whereas we may not actually have these things as quickly as some people might be suggesting, we're going to be realizing the benefits on very short timelines. Between pedestrian and human interaction, I think that we should see some kind of consistency in how we're reporting to pedestrians the actions of a particular vehicle. So right now, there are probably as many pedestrian communication systems as there are manufacturers at this point. And we need to figure out a way to make that communication consistent and enforce it so we can have some level of consistency and safety on the roads for pedestrians. Right now, we're essentially imagining driverless cars as a computer in the drive seat of a human-driven vehicle. It's going to be much more than that somewhere down the road, and it's very difficult to tell at this point what that's going to look like. So I think it's very important that we develop regulations that can adapt as these vehicles move forward. But I think for right now, what we need to focus on is the safe testing and deployment of the vehicles.